Just like a man who can't die, I have returned. Today we're going to be looking at the first 7 issues of Resurrection Man from the New 52 Comics event. Created in the late 90s by former writing duo Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning, Mitch Shelley, the Resurrection Man, was not a stereotypical superhero. Having no costume, no real crossovers, and exhibiting more anti-hero vibes, Mitch's power, so to speak, is that he can't die. At least not permanently. Whenever he dies, which is pretty frequently, he gains a completely new superpower, such as super strength, electrical powers, just whatever. Every time it's something new, and he only has one each life. After the ending of his initial series, Mitch Shelley made sporadic appearances but mostly faded into obscurity. So, in 2011, over a decade later, his co-creators, with the exception of Butch Geist, the original series artist, returned him to a headlining role with a rebooted origin. During their time away from Mitch, Abnett and Lanning had become superstars in comic circles after successful series at DC and highly acclaimed series on Marvel's Cosmic Universe. That said, this book's a dud. The story follows Mitch Shelley, who's attempting to figure out what happened to him that gave him these incredible abilities. His search leads him around the country picking up bits and pieces of a forgotten past. He is also being pursued by a pseudo-angel that's been charged with claiming his soul. He is also being pursued by the body doubles, Bonnie and Carmen, highly trained mercenaries with deep ties to his past. This comic has a ton of stuff going on, and not in a good way. It seems torn between wanting to be a story about a man relearning his past and realizing he was a terrible person, or an action romp about a man on the run from shady organizations. It meanders a lot, and then seemingly remembers it's supposed to be advancing the plot and takes huge leaps out of nowhere. There's one fight between Shelley and the body doubles that seems to drag on for almost 3 issues, and then when it's over his demeanor has changed immensely as he decides to go with them. It's so unfocused and random, it's hard to even latch on to ideas that could be potentially interesting. There's this weird, ethereal limbo that Shelley will occasionally get trapped in, never elaborated on. Shelley gets help from a friend of his father who's actually a supervillain, that's never fully explored, and all 3 plot lines that I mentioned stop halfway through the trade I was reading, as Shelley is suddenly and inexplicably hauled off to Arkham Asylum, where a whole other story gets going. It's maddening. I read all those issues over 2 days, and I was having trouble keeping up. I can't imagine what it would have been like to be keeping up monthly. It doesn't help that the characters are not endearing in the slightest. For someone who's lived countless lives, Mitch Shelley is so bland. He's just kind of going through the motion and is way too casual about learning shocking revelations. It's not until more towards the end that he decides to adopt a more heroic personality, swearing to help people as much as he can instead of just wandering from place to place like an actual dumb. The body doubles aren't much better, being pretty one-note. Their whole aloof killer bit might be a little easier to swallow if Harley Quinn wasn't such a huge presence in pop culture. The only one who's kinda interesting is the senior citizen supervillain, who's revealed to only be 19 years old, rapidly aging because of his power suit. As soon as this realization is made, though, he disappears and we don't see him again. It's exasperating. The art is done by Fernando Dagnino, a name I definitely mispronounced, and I have to say, it's definitely the best thing about this book. I love the kinetic feel of the action sequences, but beyond that, the expressions are great, all the characters look distinct and unique, even the look of Mitch coming back to life is interesting and dynamic. The issue I have with it is the portrayal of the body doubles. Both are drawn in a very male-gazy way. I can't imagine it played well in 2011, but it certainly doesn't fly nowadays. There's upskirt panty shots in multiple issues, it's just really gross and juvenile for no reason at all. Not art related, but while I'm on it, the doubles are supposed to be a romantic couple, and it's just not played like that at all. Which is lame. So, I didn't like this. I would recommend not reading it. But if you are interested, it is perfectly accessible for new readers. You can go in totally blind. Don't though. It's not good. Yeah, anyway, short video this week. Don't have a lot to say other than I just didn't like it. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed this video though. Leave a like if you did, subscribe to see the rest of my New 52 videos if that interests you. Yeah, I'm sorry for this one. Anyway, thank you for watching and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.